Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Zeno Killer from Ta, coming at you with our second interview in our series on the Commander in Chief 2012 elections. We are here with Hook and Icarus. Hook is going to ask Icarus 6 questions, of which he has seen already, followed by a seventh curveball question. So, Hook, if you're ready, take it away.
All right, and again, thanks, Zeno, for recording these for us. Like Zeno said, what I've done is I've got 6 questions here that came from about 100 that were submitted from the members. Once again, thanks to everybody that took the time to submit questions. What I did is I took as many of those, kind of compiled them into these 6 questions. So I would say I'm covering about 30 to 40 of the questions that were submitted within just these 6 alone. So anyways, what I'll do is I'll ask those 6 questions that both Braveheart and Icarus had gotten to see beforehand. I gave them these questions yesterday. They've also prepared written responses that will go out on the forums. And then I've got a 7th question that is from me personally that I'll ask there at the end that was not submitted in advance. So I'm looking forward to this interview. And before we get started, Icarus, I did the same with Brave. I just wanted to, again, tell you how much I appreciate your dedication and commitment to Tall. It wouldn't be the same around here without you. You've done a great job, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this election turns out. And I know that regardless of who comes out on top as the commander-in-chief, both of you guys are tremendous leaders, and we couldn't be in better shape than we are with knowing that one of you guys is going to be that commander-in-chief next year. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump in. I'll start with this first question, and then we'll just go right on down the line.
Well, before you ask, thank you. That means a lot. It's been a great experience, and I look forward to a great election with Brave. So thank you.
Yep. No, thank you. Okay. We have posted your bio, or going to post your bio, out on the forums, which shows you have an outstanding record as a leader in TAL. What leadership qualities do you possess that qualify you to be the next Commander-in-Chief of TAL?
Great question. Well, first, although this isn't a qualification in and of itself, I've been around a very, very long time in TAW, over 7 years. And I think that's really given me a depth of experience, and I've seen TAW and helped TAW kind of evolve to where it is today. I've worked closely with all 3 of the last CICs and both Army side and support. And so I really, I think I know what TAW's journey is, and therefore can more easily sort of extrapolate where TAW might go and where TAW could go. Second, I think that, bottom line, my values as a person in my own life and things I hold important really align well with what TAW is and our mission to have really a fun, enjoyable, safe place for people to game that's, adult and mature and structured. All those things I hold a lot of value for me. Next, I think also I've got the experience and the ability to deal with the tough issues that the CIC has to deal with. I've dealt with them a lot in TAW's history. I deal with them in my real life career, and so I feel like I'm able to really work through the issues in a way that is good for the organization and good for the membership and the leadership, and try to find the best possible decision point. And last, and probably the most important thing, I frankly really enjoy growing leadership. I get a lot of energy and satisfaction out of watching others be successful, and I think that's one of the things that's allowed me to be so successful in TAW is seeing is growing teams and growing leaders and growing the organization. So I think that's really the most important thing that a CIC has to do is grow the leadership, because it's through the leadership that we either succeed as an organization or fail.
Okay, how would you describe the Commander-in-Chief role in TAW?
The main thing I say is just being responsible. I mean, that sounds kind of bland, but you go all throughout TAW. I mean, I've held almost every job under the sun, and some that don't, have been changed names 6 different times. Really, what it comes down to is as you evolve through your leadership roles, you realize that it's not about the access we're giving you or the power we're giving you. It's so far from that. It's about, are you willing to take ownership of what's going on in your team and your folks that you're responsible for? If you can't do that, if you're in it for the power trip or you're in it to just get that extra access or control the server or this, that, or whatever, you're going to fail, because people see right through that. I also think that the CIC does that. That's their main responsibility, is to really own the successes and failures of everybody all throughout TAW. If they can't do that, then they're not going to be effective at CIC. The CIC also has to set the message and the vision, right? Paint the picture for folks down the line and really support them to get to that point, and support their own ideas and merge the great ideas across the organization together into a coherent vision for all of TAW. And also, I think that the CIC also it can be a tough role too. It's got a lot of tough decision points and burdens, but I'm really excited about taking that on. I think I'm going to be able to handle that and really grow and in that role and help TAW. So.
Okay. Yep. Good. What would you like to achieve in the first couple of months if elected Commander-in-Chief of TAW?
Also, great question. The first, I think. Yeah, as folks know, I took lead responsibility for getting the new TAW.net website deployed. I'm really, really proud of that. It's something that really is, in my opinion, frankly, the signature accomplishment that I've had in this place. And I'm really proud of what we as a team were able to accomplish to move TAW forward. And so with that experience, though, I feel like I'm really well equipped to now use that to support TAW, and I know how it works. I know what we're supposed to do with it or trying to do with it, and really want to build off of this new toolkit that we've given ourselves. There's definitely room for improvement, and that's what I want to focus on, is making it better, especially the community and the communications aspects and the blogs and the wikis and all that kind of stuff. So we've got ground to cover, but I've got a real good handle on that and want to really leverage that experience. The next is I think we can also use that site to develop metrics, organizational metrics at each level of the organization to drive accountability and progress at every level. And what that means is, looking at divisions and making sure they're, giving their members recognition and holding membership accountable, not in a overpowering or difficult way, but just to making sure things are running right for the progress of the division. And lastly, I think what I really want to do is leverage this power of feedback. I mean, I was really impressed with how well the TAW community responded to the website and gave us great feedback on it, and lots of opportunities to improve. And that's directing right now all of our efforts that are going on. And so as a result, I think that's such a powerful tool that we're not using as well as we could, and get more feedback from the membership about what they want to be doing for practices and games and all these things, and even their leadership. I think leadership needs to embrace and be willing to say, hey, tell me how I'm doing. If our leaders aren't willing to say, tell me how I'm doing, I think we may have the wrong person in that job. They need to be proud of the work that they're doing and be willing to improve on a day in and day out basis.
Okay, moving on. With a growing base of female gamers in the gaming world, what could TAW do under your leadership to attract more female gamers to the TAW community?
I think the big thing is, you got to be careful too of. You got to tell people who you are, and I think TAW needs to be really proud of who we are as an organization, the community that we built. It's really a family, and I feel, the many female members that I've known in my time in TAW have been honest and open with me about. Number one, for the most part, they feel very welcome and in this community, but also, there are challenges that we need to keep an eye out for and deal with. But really, if we can continue to get the word out about who we are, we can not only attract more female gamers, but gamers of every walk of life, every creed, every race, every whatever you want to use. That's going to be the biggest thing that's going to help TAW as an organization, is to attract a diverse group of members with diverse perspectives and diverse experiences. That's, it's funny because TAW grows from diversity, but at the same time, TAW's this great equalizer because, for the most part, I mean, religion isn't a conversation that we have. Politics is not a conversation that we have. Race is not a conversation that we have. In a way, TAW exemplifies really the purity of what online interactions can be all about, where all those things just blow away, and we're about the individual member and what they can contribute to the organization and how they're perceived through their words and their actions and how they work with the group. So it's kind of a roundabout answer, but that's how I feel about it.
Okay. There have been incredible advances in the console and tablet gaming industry. What are your thoughts on expanding TAW to platforms other than PC?
I definitely think, without a doubt, that the platforms could really benefit TAW, primarily in that diversity category that I was talking about. I think first and foremost, we need to make sure that these teams and the kind of folks that attracts really are additive to the organization, and I think they certainly can be. Really, where we've struggled in the past historically is with TeamSpeak and connecting those members. We could never come up with a way of connecting those members to the community at large. Yeah, we're different divisions, different games, but we're all one organization called TAW, and we use TeamSpeak to interact. But to say, going forward in the future, these consoles are getting more and more powerful with more and more features, and when we navigate through communication softwares and things get updated, we could be just one step or two steps or 0 steps away from making that a reality if the right technology and the right tools and the right interest among the community is there to make it happen.
Okay. Where do you see TAW in 2 years after a term with you as Commander-in-Chief?
Whew, man, that's definitely a tough question. And it's hard to give a concrete answer because, like you've heard earlier, I've got lots of goals and things. I think it's crazy to assume I'd even get half of that done. But, and then that's my short list. But at the same time, I really see TAW at a really awesome place. We're, to me, at the stepping off point is something really incredible. We've always been something really incredible, but with the new website, with the strong leadership team that we have right now throughout the whole organization, with the great members we have. We have over 1,200 members, something like 1,100 of which are meeting our attendance requirements, which is crazy. No other organization can say that. And the ones that tell you that, oh, well, we've got 10,000 people, 95% of those people aren't active. And we have a different standard that we measure our organization by. But as we grow, and hopefully satisfy these goals of developing this website and integrating community feedback and linking the community better with better contact and interaction and communication tools, that's hopefully where I see TAW is just as a tighter knit group, a more structured community in those aspects. And just building off of what we've designed and constructed. The structure's robust, the leadership's strong. It's time to shift up a gear and make it happen. I also have some goals of really developing better training for officers and knowledge sharing and communication along that lines too that I really want to see accomplished. I think every CIC wants to leave a legacy, right? They want to leave something that leave TAW better than the way they found it. And if I could accomplish even half that stuff, I think I'd meet that objective.
All right, good deal. Well, that is the end of the 6 questions that came from the member base, and I appreciate you taking the time to answer those. I've got one more that I'm going to ask, and this one is from me directly. The last 2 years, as I see, I've focused on developing our leadership and culture. Our leadership core is deeper than ever as a result of our structure revamp last year and the emphasis that has been put on servant leadership. By pushing a community-first culture, we have seen additional value added to TAW, such as the TAW University, the TAW War Tournaments, TAW Newsletter, the TAW Shop. As CIC, how would you ensure the continued development of TAW leadership and culture?
No, that's a good question. I think it connects with a lot of the previous ones that were asked. I think, really, you kind of answered the question in the question because it comes down to finding those individuals that are really excited about, connecting the community and giving them the tools and the resources to make it happen. I think, I can speak sort of from the OS side. I think the media group is a perfect example of, led by Cherry. Just a phenomenal group of guys that are willing to put in all this extra effort and energy to make TAW a better place for all the membership. And, as we look throughout the organization and find those members, we need to get them connected with these teams. They've done so much to really just enrich the culture and really actually the history of the organization, if you think about it. I mean, the things that they create, the newsletters and the recordings and the universities, they become a part of who we are and our culture as an organization. And there's no more important thing, I think, than continuing to develop that, because for two reasons. Number one, it helps us in the present, right? It allows us to look at ourselves and see where we want to go and what we want to do. But really, it also helps us in the future, because it gives us a perspective about where we are, or where we were as an organization. I mean, some might accuse TAW of changing too slowly and not adapting fast enough. But when you really look at it and you understand and you look at a lot of other gaming organizations, the reason they fail is because they don't adapt. And TAW has. TAW has changed more than any other organization that I've seen, even though sometimes it seems like the gears at Central Command are turning slowly. We take our time with important decisions and try to make the right ones, and historically have. But if we can continue to build that cultural element of the organization through finding the right people, resourcing them right, giving them the support, giving them the recognition, and then also encouraging the membership to contribute to that content and that culture, even whether it's writing a wiki page for their division or leading a training on some aspect of the game, all of those things contribute positively to the culture of the organization. And we don't all need to be, corps commanders or division commanders to contribute really positively to this place and leave a lasting impact. So, and I think we've just begun our journey on that in a really profound way.
All right. Well, thanks, Icarus, for answering those questions. Best of luck to you. I'll reiterate, that I couldn't be any happier that we have yourself and Braveheart, at this stage of TAW, to take over. Either one of you guys is going to do a great job, and we couldn't be any luckier than we are as an organization to have you guys leading the way. So best of luck to you, and again, Zeno, appreciate you taking the time to help out and get these recorded.
Anytime, Hook, I'm here to help. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Zenokilla from the Media Division. Thanking you for tuning in to the second interview for the TAW Community 2012 elections. Make sure to make your vote count. This is Zenokilla signing off.